Okay, so this isn't going to take long, but it is the latest example of the just absolute sheer hypocrisy of some Oakland A's fans. Their arguments are all over the place. And I point this out because it emphasizes how little this particular group. Their arguments are all over the place. And I point this out because it emphasizes how little this particular group. Their arguments are all over the place. And I point this out because it emphasizes how little. Yeah, how little they really think about their argument. And I should go back and have that repeated 3-4 times because there's a big problem. And what they have this tendency to doing is they advance this idea that, first of all, the Athletics moving to Las Vegas is bad. And on its face, yeah, it's an undesirable thing, but it was a necessary thing for financial reasons. All right, let's go back there. So you have the A's. Let's just say we have the A's here, or rather the A's here in Oakland, right here, and then this is Las Vegas. So the A's are moving to Las Vegas. Boom. The fans here don't want to go to Las Vegas. This particular group. There are A's fans that will follow the A's to Las Vegas. Those A's fans know what's up. Okay? But there's another particular group that don't want to go, but they want to put out fake news and scuttle, and they want to partner with, of all things. Now, this is Oakland. This is the region. This is the East Bay and the Bay Area in California, okay? They want to partner with Schools Not Stadiums, which is located in Las Vegas. Las Vegas. These A's fans want to partner with Las Vegas. And now they want to have a opening day boycott at the Coliseum here in Oakland to give money not to Oakland. Hey, they say boycott giving money to John Fisher. And they're doing it they say they're doing it for Schools Not Stadiums in Las Vegas, which claims to be concerned about schools. So how come this particular group has no concern about Oakland schools? Want to know why? Because it's not about schools at all. It's about them hating on the Athletics move, and that's it. They should be honest about where they're coming from, because it exposes Schools Not Stadiums as caring nothing really about schools at all, and everything about just, their egos, getting their name out there, being, modern day rabble rousers in the 21st century. That's it. That's it. If the A's fans, these so-called A's fans, wanted to make a statement, they could take that money and give it to, say, the East Oakland Collective. Now on Twitter, Serenity says that some should stay in their lane, referring to me putting out on Twitter that, hey, by the way, there's this hypocrisy built into your argument. And it is. Because you criticized John Fisher for going over and putting his investment in Las Vegas, and yet what are you doing but the same thing? You understand? You're doing precisely the same thing that John is. Oh, the reasons may seem just to you, but the reality is that you're not putting the money in Oakland. So you too are essentially disinvesting in Oakland, if you ever invested in it at all, as opposed to, say, going to the game and making sure the food vendors there have money to pay their employees, the majority of which live in Oakland and are poor. Some are new immigrants. You've proven that you care nothing about them. Nothing. In fact, through this entire effort, the only time this group of A's fans has done anything for the city of Oakland and for the residents was the gigantic, excellent fan fest that drew what, 15,000? Bravo. That's the way to do it. Okay? Because it shows you care about the city, that you're helping Oakland businesses get business, small ones at that. But this effort opening day doesn't show that at all. Because schools not stadiums argument on its face is flimsy. And they won't get off it because they know at this point they have to. We're going to get hammered in court yet again that we're not talking about a widely imposed tax on Nevada citizens with respect to the Oakland. We're talking about fees that are collected by Clark County from the revenues generated when you step into the sports district on that property, at least that part of the sports district, which is that property, talking about the current Tropicana site, to say buy a baseball cap or something like that, or even sports gambling. All right. And so on. There are 17 different revenue centers that are built into the ballpark district that they're going to build and that they're designing the policy construction of right now and laying out all the documents for. Okay? 17. All of them require one thing. You have to visit. You have to visit. And then the bond issue it's not a precise lease revenue bond. It's really called the general obligation bond, but it's actually designed to behave like a lease revenue bond. And what's a lease revenue bond? A lease revenue bond depends on a stream of money coming in this case, 17 streams to feed it. And it's only 120 million. So you're looking at debt services, $8 million a year, depending on how they structured it. Maybe 6. More than manageable. Why? Because consider the revenue that's coming in. You have a naming rights agreement that's going to be valued at roughly $20 million a year to the A's. You will have sports marketing that will bring an additional 10 to 20 million to the Athletics. Then we have the fact that the Athletics gain all of these different revenue sources as theirs to collect a percentage of, because they are Stadco, Stadium Corporation, just like the Raiders are Stadco over at the Allegiant Stadium. That model caused the Raiders to balloon to $6 billion in value. And the same will happen to the A's when they reach the $3 billion level, my prediction, by year 3. They may even go north of that. Okay? Because of the design of the facility and its location. Dave Cobble did an outstanding job. And I press this to emphasize to everyone, particularly you fans who claim that you want, as I do, the city of Oakland to realize an expansion team, to focus on that, because the city has done nothing. And don't tell me this stuff about, oh, I know what they're doing. Because when you launch an effort to get an expansion team, you identify your site, your models, and your finance, and you line it all up. The city doesn't get that because the city is too busy playing politics. Every aspect of our activity with respect to sports has been politically driven. Do you realize that? There has not been one area that has not been touched by a politician as opposed to a city staffer, like, for example, a executive director of a sports commission or the executive director of the Joint Powers Authority. the legendary Henry Gardner is literally content to take a back seat to Rebecca Kaplan as chair. And everyone lets Rebecca stick her neck out. That's Oakland politics. Larry Reed would do that with Libby. He would always say to me, that's your god sister's project, talking about Howard Terminal or something else. Or your god sister did this, right? He's District 7 councilman, basically sending me the message that Zenny, that's her project, and I'm not getting involved in it because I'm going to let her sink or swim with it. That's Oakland. We don't have this, we always talk about these kumbaya moments. We've talked about that since the days of Robert Bobb when he was city administrator. He would always use the term kumbaya, come together moments. We haven't had a kumbaya moment since, wow, I would say last time we had a kumbaya moment was when the Warriors won the NBA Finals, and that was to prepare the parade route and everything else in conjunction with the Warriors, right? It wasn't anything that we were building. We were just simply providing the party, which is not a bad thing because it was a heck of a lot of fun. But we eventually lost that to San Francisco. Why? Because we didn't build the arena the Warriors were looking for. And the Warriors got tired of waiting on slow Oakland. That's why. Got tired of simply saying, hey, what's going on? How many times we heard that refrain? Same with the Raiders. Although I don't applaud the way Mark Davis did it, I understand why he did it. And it really hit home with me when I went to the Raiders sponsor party that I showed on the previous video in Las Vegas at CES in 2019. Okay? So it's unfortunate that this group doesn't get it. But I understand the anger and the frustration, the sentiment. I've been there with the Raiders. I vowed that this time, if we didn't do what I felt we should do, and for those of you who are saying, oh, Zinni, you're just upset because they didn't hire you to run it, I will say this. You're doggone right I am. Because had I been in charge instead of Molly Mayburn, who, listen to this, and I repeat this, first presentation to the city and the county is in Hawaii, and basically gives a speech that says, hey, here I am in Hawaii with my kids, and wow, it sucks to be you. Who starts a presentation like that? And so I said to one elected official, who I will not name, that was awful. And this person said to me, yeah, but she's cute. I said, seriously? I don't mean like seriously, she's, all that stuff. I wasn't making a personal comment against her. But it was more like, seriously, that's what you're thinking? And we're in the middle of trying to build a multi-billion-dollar facility to keep the athletics in Oakland? You see what I'm getting at? Huh? I vowed I would never be part of such a blank show again in my entire life. And I would oppose it if it came up. And that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, you know what? Let them go. You want an expansion team? Prove it. Let's build the infrastructure. Let's rebuild how we do things. Let's get it right. But stop the fake news. Stop the giving money to organizations that aren't even in Oakland in the hopes that they're going to have some success in stopping the athletics, because that's not happening. And if you really care about Oakland, I don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in Redding. I don't care if you live in Reno. I don't care if you're in the Central Valley. Prove you care about Oakland, because to this point, say for the dramatically fantastic fan fest, this particular group of A's fans hasn't done that. Subscribe to Zinni62 on YouTube. I'll see you.